Hi artists, we're gonna paint Deadpool using watercolor now. Um, as you can see, I erased all of the sketch lines that I started with, and now I just have the outline of the superhero. I forgot to add his swords behind his back, which are like a signature of this character. So I'm just gonna add a long rectangle shape on each side of his shoulder, coming out kind of like an X. Okay, and then I'm going to add like darker lines to show more clearly. And these have like little grooves in them to grip better. So I'm just going to add those now. Same thing on this side. Okay. And the grooves. Okay, now we're ready. And by the way, I'm going off of this image, which I found on Google, and we're going to work from that. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is get all your watercolor materials. You need your palette with your brush and a cup of water, and you also need paper towel or toilet paper is fine too. I'm going to leave it here so you can see how often I use it to help blend. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is get my red wet and the black as well. The black is the furthest down. I'm also maybe going to use a little yellow because it looks like there's some shading. Okay, so now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get all the black areas just painted with gray. So I'm watering down the black quite a bit. And I'm going to use a wet on dry method. So I'm just painting directly on the dry paper. So both of the swords are going to start with gray. So this is not pure black. This is watered down quite a bit. We are going to add more black to it later on. So you can always get darker, but it's hard to get lighter. Okay, then inside the mask, everything here is gray except the eyes. So do not touch the eyes whatsoever. They're going to stay white. Okay, and then the other side. Alright, and then this whole section's also shaded. So I'm just going to paint it gray. It's hard to see where the line ends on this side actually because it's very dark contrast. Okay, same thing under the neck. There's a dark shadow. Or sorry, under the chin on the neck. And so I'm using my paper towel to blot as I blend this down a bit. Okay, and now I'm going to add, all of this is black. Actually, there's a few lines I forgot. So right here is red, and then all of this is black. So I'm going to make it gray first. Can add darker later. Everything except this little shape here is going to be black. You have to work kind of quickly because it does dry pretty quickly. And the satchel is also black, so we're just going to make it gray first. There is a little shiny part on the glove, so I'm going to add a little shape here, and not going to touch it. And the gloves are also black. What do you know? Okay, I'm going to add more paint on my brush. There's another little shiny part on this glove, so I'm going to just avoid that by outlining it. And it's gray. I am using watercolor paper, so this is going to pick up the paint a lot better than your sketchbook will, and I recommend you continue to use the watercolor paper that I sent to you. And this strap is also black. On these, we're not gonna touch the bands yet because they have a lot of shading that I'm gonna spend a little more time on. Okay, and the shoulder is black. So just use like a watered down black to start with. Okay, that's everything. Let's do the bands next. So there is a little spot on here that's shiny, so I don't want you to touch the entire band. So paint the left and the right of the band, then dip your brush in water and then dab it off and blend so you still have some shiny white on the band. So you can see how much darker we can get. And I'm just going to leave this really light, but I do like to blend it so it's gradual. Okay, other band. So do both sides. And then rinse and blot your brush to blend it in the middle. Okay, that's pretty good. I'm happy enough with that. All right, let's start to add our red. So we're gonna use a lighter value of red first. I'm gonna take my red and water it down quite a bit. And in fact, I'm gonna add a little orange to it. It's kind of reddish orange in the lighter sections. Maybe even some yellow, let's see. Maybe more red. So I'm using red, orange, and yellow to get the reddish orange that I want for the lightest sections. Okay, and I'm gonna water that down a lot and start to add the red orange onto the lighter parts of this character. We're gonna add darker red later on. So trying not to touch the darker part of his mask. And filling this all in with red orange. I'm just going to fill in the whole head with this color. I'm going to get darker later. But again, you can always go dark, but you can't go back to light once you put the dark down. So it's better to just be safe and stay lighter at first. Okay, and then I have sort of like a tint in here on this side of the shoulder, underneath, all the way down here. I'm going to be sort of careful not to touch the black, but if you do, like, we can cover it up later with more dark black. Okay, and then we have a light orange on this side of the hand, like the light's hitting here. I can show you in fact. The light's hitting like here, all on this side and on this side, and then we'll put darker to get some shadow. Okay. Okay, and then this side we also have really light right here and all along this arm. Try to make your watercolor as even as you can. So that's kind of what I'm doing here. All right, so then we have a little red here, and of course there's red in the heart. So I'm gonna make this a little darker, just like pure red inside the heart. Okay, and then we have a deeper red up here above the fingers. I'm just going to blend it in a bit with the orange. And I'm going to blend this in with the gray so it transitions more slowly. Okay, then we have a deeper red under the hands, so I'm going to use the pure red, watered down a bit, but not too much. Just getting all of this red. And then we have like a deep red on this side of the wrist. And everything else we can put deep red. Okay, now we have like the basic colors of Deadpool. We're gonna add some more value. So take your